Welcome back, listeners. This is episode number 115 of the Hip Boards podcast. We're speeding up today. We are in a rush, but it's still the same length episode, so really we're not. I am Iman. I'm here with my co-host.
Yeah. See, I'm even getting in front of you. I'm David.
Yeah.
No time. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, no, we're all good. We're good. So anyway, this is the podcast where we give you all your YouTube recommendations for the week, as always, every Tuesday. And I got a couple of good ones this week, actually. A couple of cooking themed ones.
No way. I got some cooking ones too.
Oh, do you actually?
It's been a cooking week in my household.
No way.
Virtually, of course.
Okay, but as always, shall we kick off the episode with looking at our time watched for the past week? So this is the how many hours we've watched of YouTube in the past week, according to the app. I'm pretty heavy this week, actually. I didn't really expect that.
I'm happier than normal for me as well.
Oh, really? Okay, what's your number?
Well, I mean, like, not compared to you, but I got 13 hours.
Oh, not bad. Close. I mean, I got 15 3/4.
Oh, I thought you were only happy when you hit 20 plus.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's happy with the numbers, but definitely, if I spent 20 hours on YouTube in the week, that's definitely been a depressed week. I've definitely been depressed. Yeah. Or ill. But yeah, so like I said, I've been watching a fair bit of some cooking videos, but before we get to our channels of the week, let's go through some of our individual video recommends. You want to kick us off?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I after my experiment in the last episode of just like, let me just search something random. YouTube recommended me a video where a guy is just like talking about like how he hates long journeys. I was like, okay. Literally just the video is just him whining. And then it just made me think, do you know what I bet exists but I've never come across is just truck driver live streams. You know, just like open road, going through like all sorts of random stuff they must go through, like cross country wise and different changes in seasons and different road types. Like it. So yeah, I searched one up and I was quite happy. This channel does a few. Got the name. It's called Big Rig Travels. Okay. And there's one video I'll put in the description where he's going through. I think it's a couple states in America, like Montana, if I remember, I think. And yeah, it's like he's driving through ice, basically. And it's like 6 hours. It's all a live stream. He's like got a little little area for people to put money towards like him doing it more often. But yeah, it was like... Yeah, it's really good.
That's kind of sick.
A couple, obviously.
Is the camera pointing ahead out of the windscreen?
Yeah, it is a GoPro. I wish he could mix it up, like have one towards him. But, not everyone wants to have their face in front of the camera.
Does he talk as well?
No. Well, I mean, you know what? After like 30 minutes, I kind of lowered the volume and just had it as a little like background piece as well, just to see his adventure rather than all the sound effects of the snow and the cars and... things outside.
That's cool, actually. That's cool.
Yeah.
It made me think of this video I saw once where a guy was basically set up his GoPro on a shipping boat. One of those boats those huge boats that go all around the world filled with shipping containers, delivering stuff. And it was crazy. He set up the camera, and I think it was over a few months period, and I think he was taking, a few seconds of footage every day or something. And it was just like insane, going through big storms, pulling into ports, just the view out on just endless open ocean. So amazing. I'm actually going to have to, after this, I'm going to have to search live streams of, people on boats. I'm sailing my boat, but like...
I'm going to search the wildest live streams possible, like things that just don't make sense. Like a live stream on on an animal that is just free in the jungle, something like that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool though. It's quite very chill. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first on my list of what I've been watching this week or recommends is Mystic. I know we've spoken about him before because I know you're
I found he's my most recent subscription. I really love the guy. He's a chilled guy, and I've watched all his videos in the past year now.
Oh wow! So have we spoken about him on the podcast?
I brought him up in an episode. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, his channel is basically PlayStation. It's just, he talks a little on gaming, as a whole, but it's basically PlayStation focused. Him, I bought a box of 1,000 games on eBay. This is what I got. This is the most expensive console I have. This is a super rare PlayStation. And then as well, every week or every few days, he does news, PlayStation news. And, obviously, you're only really going to be into this if you're into PlayStation or into gaming as a whole. But even if you don't like PlayStation specifically, watching some of the kind of rare console videos and that kind of thing are super interesting. But yeah, I like him as well. He's very chilled and very knowledgeable about stuff.
Yeah, very articulate and he's not even as biased as it would sound being a PlayStation.
Yeah.
He
doesn't come across as a total mindless fanboy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he really gives me a vibe, an old school YouTube vibe. I actually didn't check how long he's been doing this for, but he gives me the vibe of somebody who's been on YouTube for a long time. That might be right or wrong. I'm gonna look whilst we're talking. By the way, he's got about.
I do believe it's been a while, but in terms of getting going, when you start to see the progress roll in, I feel like it's kind of recent.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So he's got just under 600k subs, so pretty good. And yeah, he's been posting for about 10 years, but really the initial a lot of the initial videos were platinum trophies. I've never seen his trophy collection or whatever. You get trophies for doing stuff on PlayStation. Those that don't know, yeah, he seems really into that, which is I've never understood that, but sure. But yeah,
hey, one day you will.
Yeah, he's been kind of doing this style of video for about 8 years now. 8-9 years, so yeah, kind of old school, old school. But anyway, yeah, good, interesting channel.
So, which one did you see, or what got you into, or was it just a Let's Talk PlayStation news?
It was. I don't know. It just came up in recommended, and obviously, I've only recently started being a PlayStation gamer because we've got a PS5 now.
A Sony pony.
Is that what you call them? Is that what you call them? Sony pony. Yeah, but yeah, I guess you could say that. And yeah, it's kind of I like the news ones really the most. It's kind of fun just to keep up. I think I watched his breakdown of E3 as well. Yeah. Anyway, good channel, good stuff.
Yeah, no, glad to have you on board as well.
Yeah. Who you got next in your list?
So I got one quick video from Jago Hazard or Jago Hazard. I'm not too sure. I'm
going to go with Jago.
Jago.
Okay. Yep.
Anyway, does a video. This might be a more British related audience who'd be interested. Why the Central Line is so hot.
Central Line is a tube or underground or
thank you.
What else
or
do they
subway.
call it? What do they call it in America?
Subway.
Subway line in London, yeah.
yeah, and it's been around for years, and maybe if I paid attention more so to the video, I'll tell you what year it was created. But it was one of the early lines that we have here, and it was talk about the history as well as related quotes and articles about when it was built and everyone's complaint being so clay based, why it's so hot, and they made improvements with every other line that they created, but they can never go back and sort out
Wait,
central
because
line.
what, the walls are made of clay or something?
Yeah, well, originally I assume now, protection wise, that they've done more than that. But yeah, that was the original thing. And there's like little snippets of like, oh, once upon a time, the idea was like it was for livestock, so like transporting livestock, so it would be good that it's warm, and like all of these other conspiracy theories for the real reason why they didn't put so much attention into it. But yeah, and I just opened his channel up and he's got loads of other videos about transportation and even underground specific.
I have seen this guy before, and he does like interesting topics around London, basically. I guess it's more. Yes, I have. I actually have. I'm just skimming through his videos. I see that. There's quite a few in here that I've watched. Like he did one about there's this tower in London that looks a bit like a radio. They call it, like, what do they call it? Like the walkie-talkie. It's the one with Sky Garden at the top, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, and it's kind of a curved glass thing. And this thing, when it got really hot, melted a car, like melted the wing mirror of a car, because it just focused all of this sunlight directly onto it. Yeah, pretty wild. But yeah, he's got a really interesting channel. I do think it's definitely more of a, if you live in London or are you interested in London, that definitely helps. You go like, oh, I've been there or whatever, kind of interesting.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, next on my list is, I've been watching this show called Over the Garden Wall. And I got this show from a couple of episodes ago. We spoke about an animator. I recommended this particular video by an animator who... oh my god! Now Patrick McHale. That was it. I thought it was Eric McHale.
Oh, okay.
Patrick McHale. So in episode 113, I mentioned this animated video. Okay, I don't know where I left off just then, but a couple technical difficulties there. But yeah, I linked in episode 113 Patrick McHale's animation. This guy is basically an animator who has made a bit of a name for himself by doing these like really, I don't know, he's just got such an interesting, unique and cool style. But he did this show, I found out, because I just loved it so much, I was researching him. He did this show called Over the Garden Wall. Over the Garden Hedge. No, Over the Garden Wall. I always get this wrong. He did a show called Over the Garden Wall. It's kind of a kid's show in the same way that, Adventure Time is like kind of a kid's show, but you can enjoy it as an adult.
As an adult, yeah.
Yeah. But it's, I don't know, it's quite like dark. And his style in general is quite kind of dark, and it's a little depressed and like a little creepy in places. And just everything about the show is only a short season. There's only, I think, 10 episodes, and they're only 10 minutes long. And this thing is just absolutely amazing. It's got like critical acclaim. It's known for just being so on point. And the animation is amazing. The stories are really interesting. And the mood, it's really the mood that gets you. And the music especially. The music is just amazing. Always like all these... real southern kind of vibes and some like jazz and stuff in there. But there's this one particular song which only lasts, a minute or less. Okay. Called, it's not even a minute, it's more like 30 seconds. Just this guy kind of sings a little thing and then that's it. And it's called I'm the Highwayman. And this guy, and the way that it is animated is so cool. And I don't know, cool, but it's so well animated and interesting. And the music itself, it's been in my head for the last like week. So I really recommend you watch this clip. Literally the video with it in is 50 seconds long, and the actual song is maybe 30 seconds of that. And yeah, I really, really recommend it. I actually also watched the specific one of the animators who worked on the show did a breakdown of storyboards to like keyframes and how it actually got put together as well, which is really interesting. But yeah, really just recommend this one little clip. So good. Anyway, what's your next one here, David?
So I guess my last one that I'll plug is a video by Justin. No, you know what? I cannot do this surname. Is it a surname or is it an acronym? I don't know. TSE. Anyway.
Okay.
So Justin has a channel. I think it's I'll probably search how many subs it's got. But he did a pretty good video on what a lot of people ask me, like when they ask about the podcast, and like, oh, it's always about the money. It's like, oh, what does a YouTuber make? Or like, how well do they do financially? And yeah, so he's got 680k subs, and he did a very, I think probably like what I've seen loads of YouTubers make videos where they talk about their AdSense and like the money they've made and like the spread throughout the year and all of this.
Yeah.
But he in particular, I think his video was very, very well done and explains pretty much everything. It's like a video I'd pass on to anybody who actually asked me. And I just kind of wanted to put it there to kind of give some insight.
Interesting.
For anyone who's curious. Yeah.
I will say, with those numbers, like it varies a lot. It can vary a lot, especially obviously if your channel is restricted or not safe for advertisers or whatever. But that's super interesting. He's also, you're not actually supposed to share that stuff.
Google, I heard about that too.
Let you, but I don't know how he's managed to keep the video up. But cool.
Maybe he's just got the CEO backing. He's from the tech industry, so he obviously throws that caveat in there of like the CPM on their side as well as videos you've made back in the past are going to still accumulate money now. But it's all in all, it's very well explained.
Okay, so the last couple of vid recommendations I have is a channel I've covered before, Salmonella Academy, and he basically does these like short comedic videos animated with really shitty stick figures about just interesting historic things, usually. Like, for example, the one I'm going to link is Terrare, the hungriest man in history. And there's this French guy who, there's all these stories about him, and he seems like, he's a real life guy, and just about how he could eat an absurd amount of food. They put out a meal fit for 15 people in a room and just watch what he would do. And obviously he ate it all. And just talking about the history of it. And I don't know, I really recommend his channel in general. It's a bit sad because he's not posted in like a year. So I don't really know what's going on with him. He's got about 3 mil subs, but I don't really know what's going on with him, but he's not posted in a year. And not that he was super, it wasn't every week or anything like that. He would do maybe one every month, one every 2 months, maybe. So, at most he's doing like 6-7 videos a year. But still, like, going a whole year without posting is unlike Sam. So I don't really know what's going on, but I hope he's still around and gonna keep posting. But recommend.
I have those moments too where it's like, dude, you're doing so well, but to disappear for so long, I gotta check your Instagram just to make sure you're still active.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of sad. Like, you go like, oh yeah, I remember that channel, and boom. Anyway, and the final one I want to call out is I found on the Warner Bros. Like official Warner Bros. Kids channel, which is almost 18 mil subs, by the way.
18,
obviously,
damn.
Yeah, obviously. They have, it's just on all the time, and they have a live video of all-time classic moments from Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, and Scooby-Doo. And it's literally just clips from all of those TV shows. And it's just live all the time. And I don't know. I recommend it. It's a really good one to have just on the second screen, just something in the background whilst you're doing something, just to see it. And it's kind of nostalgic watching like the old Looney Tunes and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of fun, kind of nice one to have.
In
and
a
it's
weird
cool
way,
that
I'm
it's just-
happy it's from the main channel as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the official one, and they literally are like this one it's live right now. Started streaming May the 6th, so that's like almost a month ago. Where it went down for a few hours and came back up, and that's why. But yeah, it's good. It's just good.
I
Nice,
like
relaxing little thing to have on. Yeah. Any other vid recommendations for us?
No, I was gonna put some food ones in, but I'll put it in the next one. I'll talk more about them in the next one.
Okay, fair enough. So who is your channel of the week, David?
Right. So my channel is a duo, so two guys called Colin and Samir.
Okay. American?
And what about you?
So mine is well, I'm really torn between the two, but no, mine is this channel called BORE.D. But it's specifically it's BORE.D. And he does cooking videos. Should we go over mine first or yours?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I also want to bring in a second channel here just to mention called Alvin Zhou, who also does cooking videos. But okay, so BORE.D, this guy basically does short cooking videos making like interesting things. So he's got about 900k subs, and his videos are all 3 to 4 minutes long, which is quite nice, very digestible, because it's cooking, right?
Yep.
And he makes just interesting, weird food, but also sometimes does some like just nice ones. So his most recent video, for example, was edible water, and he uses some kind of weird gel stuff to turn water kind of thicker, and then makes these balls out of it, and they pop and turn into water. He's done some where he makes this bread that's like not really bread. He did beer can chicken, and his kind of selling point, or what makes him different, is he edits and does all his videos like an old school RPG video game. So he pops up, a pixel, what do you call it? Like a pixel art version of like an inventory instead of, just doing this is the ingredients list. Be like inventory, 3 eggs,
okay, that's
quart
pretty
of
cool
milk.
already.
Yeah. And, quest obtained, make bread or whatever. And yeah, it's kind of nice. And there's no talking or anything. It's just words on the screen. And it's kind of nice, just like a little bit different. And then he shows like a, like a weapon select wheel where he selects, whisk, spoon, stuff like that.
Oh man! And then if you're whisking yourself, the stamina bar goes down.
Yeah, but yeah, he just does like makes really interesting, cool stuff. And besides just the cool looking things, he also just does delicious things. His most viewed one is just straightforward egg fried rice, but it just looks so good. And the editing and everything is nice, and they're nice and short too. Just really kind of recommend his channel. It's just a bit different. It's really tasty looking, at least, and is short. And that's kind of what I've got to, what he's got going for him, and I really like it. Yeah. Good job.
You know what? In a lot of like YouTube industries that we talk about, like where you think, it's just so oversaturated because it's the same thing. Like when we talked about gym YouTubers or whatever, it's like, if you've seen one arm workout, you've seen them all.
Yeah, exactly.
With food, it can never fail.
Yeah, and it is nice. It just, like you said, it proves, you can just put a little bit of a twist on something.
Twist, yeah.
I mean, essentially, he's making the same videos as other people. It's just, edited a bit differently and just given a bit of like creative element in there. So that brings me to the next channel, which is Alvin Zhou. And he, firstly, this guy, let me just say, 1 mil subs. He's got 9 videos. Been posting since 10 months ago. But here's the thing. I'm not sure if all of those subs are because of his videos or because he also is involved with the channel Tasty. So I'll talk a bit more about that. But basically, on his channel, he does nothing is simple, nothing is easy. He does long. He basically makes the most complex, effort-intensive, long process versions of food. They're all super, like 100-hour lasagna. Okay, 150-hour chocolate cake, and it's all about, I made the chocolate from scratch, and then I had to let it rest for hours whilst I did this other thing, and blah 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 blah. And oh my god, like his stuff looks insane. I mean, the effort that he goes to, and his thing, if we're talking about a creative difference or whatever, his thing is a combo of, firstly, he's making really high quality food, with tons of effort. Not everybody does that. Quite rare. And secondly, it's just filmed beautifully. I mean, the effects he uses always real, like, soft focus, lots of blurred background, and the lighting is always nice and perfect and dramatic. My God, like, he really sets a mood, sets a really specific, very beautiful, vibe with the way he films it. It's really, really well done. But man, I'm gonna link the 72-hour beef Wellington. My God, I challenge you to look at that thumbnail and not be sold on this guy. I mean, it's just insane. It's completely insane. It just. Oh my God, I think I'm gonna have to make beef Wellington. It's like one of the most complicated things to make, but my God, I want that. It looks unbelievable. Okay, but I realize I'm talking a lot now, but just to top it off, I found he also is involved with Tasty. So it seems he's one of the he's one of the, I don't know what they call them, producers. He's one of the chefs on Tasty.
So we've seen his hands before.
No, he's on.
Oh no, sorry, producer.
Yeah, on the actual. No. So he's actually on the channel. So Tasty, obviously, they started with their short ones where you just see the hands top down, but they now have a whole full-on cooking.
They do?
Cooking channel. Yeah, 20 mil subs. Also, they're owned by
20 now.
20. Yeah, they're owned by BuzzFeed. It turns out. Yeah.
BuzzFeed got their
they got their hands on Tasty. They own it now. Yeah, and it's kind of like what's that other like cooking magazine that we covered a while back?
We did cover it.
Damn it.
And they were such rivals. Not rivals like they were head to head, but they were so similar.
But it's the same kind of thing. They've got a collection of different chefs, a bunch of kind of different series, different things that each one does. And it's all just, done in that very big corporate YouTuber style, if you know what I mean.
Did they do that because that other channel went out of business because of that CEO scandal?
I'm not sure. I think they've been going for longer than that, but I'm not really sure.
Hilarious.
But yeah, so on that channel, he does big versions of food. So I'm linking one. He makes a 30-pound Oreo. It's just this huge Oreo. So he's obviously, I mean, you can tell from his own videos, like he's the real deal in terms of a chef. So I'm not sure which came first, whether he did this first or he did, his own stuff first and then got Tasty. I'm not really too sure. But anyway, really good guy. Watch his channel. I haven't watched much of the Tasty stuff, but watch his own channel. It's really is good. But before you do that, watch BORE.D. He's his stuff is really
in that
really
order.
Cool. Yeah, basically. Okay, sorry, I've been talking ages. What have you got for us this week, David? Tell us about Colin and Samir.
Yes, Colin and Samir. I know you asked before, but yeah. So I mean, based in LA, so I mean, American sounding for sure. They're I don't know. They're almost, I say, similar to us I could almost say that. They are two guys, and I think that's what kind of lured me towards them. They're two guys that basically just love YouTube, love the creators, and do a lot of talks, just discussions between the two. Not really a podcast, but more so like a whole setup of like, you know, putting stuff on screen, kind of drawing out maps of like how the channel started to where they are now. Sometimes they interview them as well, but it's just very well done. And it's a recent change in their channel, because they used to do like shorter form like videos like some years ago, but recently they now do videos where it's they just have two mics, open-ended conversations about how a YouTube channel that they'll talk about kind of got to where it is today. So the video that got me like interested is, so since we covered the Nelk Boys in a podcast like ages ago, I've still been watching them, and they only post like once a week anyway. So I've been watching all of their videos, and the thing that's so good about the Nelk Boys is they don't make money on YouTube because they've been demonetized years ago.
They do make some quite like, you know, they do make some quite like,
they get into trouble. But what was so evident is because of their fans, their way of making a brand. And so this Colin and Samir video was is titled The Disneyfication of the Nelk Boys. And they don't just talk about the Nelk Boys, they talk about Mr. Beast, they talk about Yes Theory, they talk about other YouTubers that have followed the same method. And even we have talked about it, but the way they draw it up is pretty good. So like they'll put like Nelk Boys in the middle, and they'll talk about their Full Send Club, which is where the loyal fans join and, you know, have a community based online. Full Send being like the clothing brand, but Send Club being the subscription model. They recently created a beer, and it's being just, you know, sold out you know, everywhere in America. And like they also put like little ideas about where they would kind of go next. So like locations, like they could start running events if they wanted to, because of this fan base and party lifestyle that they have. And it's like, it's just showing how the same way Disney does it with their merch and their cartoons and their advertising. Like if you watch a Nelk video, like the first 3 minutes is an ad. Like it's done intentionally, but it's actually so well done that you could just watch that and care less about the video. And they just do that in every other scenario of like how we want to try Mr. Beast burger, for example. Like it's, you know, a curiosity thing, but then if you think about it, with the idea of him having a dream burger, and then maybe one day he'll have whatever other YouTubers popular just for like a specific month or two, and it just helps sell, and it helps that creator go outside so it's basically, of just being YouTube.
So it's basically about how they've set up their business and how they run things, and how it's similar to the Disney setup. And like in other videos besides this one, it's just that in-depth research, as well as they're very good and like very articulate, very good in front of camera, and they do storytell pretty well. And I've just watched loads of videos since picking up that Nelk Boy video. Like I just definitely recommend. I'll put my favorite 3, I guess, in the description. They've talked about Eric, that I've mentioned before, who went from 0 to 1 million in 1 year, and they did a very good in-depth discussion with him, and like how he was so close to 1 million that he decided to just live stream on an island how he'll get to 1 million, and he won't leave the island until he does, which is such a great idea. And they talk about like the reasoning and like which best option was the, you know, like they talk to him as well. It's an interview too. And I just really like how in depth they go. And that's cool. That is cool. Nice. I'm impressed. It's actually relatively rare thing for a channel to really go in depth on other YouTube channels, and going from like that business aspect and how they've set stuff up is actually quite an interesting topic, because you could just go like, you know, you can just say, oh well, PewDiePie's, they're just, you know, he's just really popular, so, you know, he makes loads of money, but it's not like that simple. It's
it's
kind
not
of
like revenue streams left, right, center. It's like
Yeah.
it has to be set up.
It's like the way
and
you
not just on its own.
Exactly. It's like the way you set it up, and if you want it to keep going and actually last long term, then you need to do certain things. Yeah, get people like really get a certain group really interested, and then they drive another group. Like it's smart stuff, and I'm not saying it's, you know, consciously thought out like that by these creators, but you know, it kind of ends up like that because of the way that they act towards their audience and everything, and you know, it's good. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's cool. We really have to wrap up. I mentioned earlier that we are in a bit of a rush today. Thank you all for listening. We will be back next week at the usual time. Subscribe to us on YouTube, on podcast app, on Apple podcast app, on any podcast app. See you next week. Thank you all for listening. Bye-bye.